as reflected in my pearly whites here. The dentist says we should get our teeth checked about every 6 months, right?
Yeah, that's also how often our computers should get checked.
So why is that preventative maintenance so important? Thor Schrock from Schrock Innovations Computer Company is going to explain why. Welcome to the Morning Blend.
Good to see you, Thor.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Yeah, you bet. What happens if we don't maintain those computers like we should?
Gotcha. Well, the biggest symptom is a slowdown, and I think everybody can relate to this. You know, my computer was really fast when I got it, and it slowed down. 6 months, a year, 2 years, and some of that, the computer is working as fast as it always worked. Some of that is buildup of unneeded temporary files and registry problems or even hardware problems, and a lot of it is all the updates you get. Every time your software gets updated, it does more for your computer than your computer used to have to deal with, and as a result, it's slower.
We're looking at video right now, and I see dust caked sort of in some of these grills. Is that part of the problem? Is that part of the maintenance issue?
This is a computer that is in our service center right now. This computer was a live blowout. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
This is a clean computer that we see in our service center.
And how long does it take for that dust to build up on?
Well, this one is the computer itself is about 4 years old, and I don't think it's ever been blown out before. And this is, like I said, is a relatively clean environment. The thing that happens is the initial video you saw with the fan there, underneath those spinning fan blades, the dust had caked over the heatsink. In English, what that means is the air can't move from the metal to the fan. So the fan is spinning, but it's not moving any air. It overheats and it slows down. Most computers have what's called speed step technology. When the brain gets too hot, the computer will slow the brain down to allow it to remain cooler. So if your fans are clogged, it's not just a pretty thing or a cleanliness thing, it's a performance thing.
All right, so maintenance with a PC, laptop, is it the same story?
It's actually more important with a laptop. Laptops get far hotter than PCs do, and they have so much smaller space to vent that heat. Because of that, you have to keep the fans nice and clean. The fans pull through one area, and if you flip it over and you hit with that blower and you blow it backwards through the fan, you'll see chunks of stuff fly out of laptops.
Wow.
It's just as important in a laptop.
You're talking about PCs. I'm a Mac guy. I have a Mac computer. Is it the same?
Sorry.
I know. Is the type of maintenance similar to a PC, or how does that work?
There are similarities. Basically a Mac is a PC with a different operating system now. It's the same hardware. So during a maintenance checkup, we test your hard drive. Most hard drive problems start before the hard drive crashes, long before the hard drive crashes. Mac is really good at masking those problems until the hard drive crashes, and then you're just out of luck. So we can test the hard drive, we can test the memory, we can blow out the fans, all that stuff is the same. But then when you get into cleaning the registry, well, Macs don't have a registry. Defragging, you don't have to defrag a Mac. So there are some similarities, but for what we do with the maintenance checkup at Schrock, we do some of it to Macs on occasion, but mostly PCs.
I'd like to know how much time you spend during a checkup. Let's look at some of the things that are included when you get a preventative maintenance check done at Schrock Innovations, because the amount of things you're doing to these computers, it's got to take a while.
We get to know it real well. We get on an intimate level with the machine. It takes about 8 hours to do a complete maintenance checkup on the average computer. Most of that time is spent scanning for infections, checking hard drives, checking memory, the stuff that's visual, blowing it out, wiping down the exterior of the surface. I always tell my staff, you have to wipe down the outside, because we know we're doing a lot of work on the inside. We know it's working better, but when the customer picks up the computer, they can't see any of that.
Yeah, you can't see.
And so wipe down the outside. It's small, it's silly, but it allows them to really, appreciate
clean.
what we did on the inside, kind of a tactile way to see it.
Yeah. So we take a look at the list here. A lot of this stuff is, it's critical. These updates, security updates,
yes,
critical for PCs.
Yep. I had a customer. I was on site at his house, and he had been on dial-up, and we moved him. Finally, convinced him to move to high speed. And the number of security updates he had to download, he called me to complain the next day. And my computer's never been slower since I moved to high speed. I said, well, that's because you let it run all night, let it run overnight, let it get all those security updates done, because everything under the sun is updating. And during a maintenance checkup, there's a lot of stuff that wants to update, that needs to update, that doesn't automatically update. We take care of all that for you during the maintenance checkup.
So when we're looking at signs, we're thinking about it, because I'm going through my PC, my laptop. How do I know if I need a maintenance check, other than I know that there's never been one done? Is speed the biggest indicator? Speed
is a huge indicator. The other thing that to consider is the fact that with your computer, every 6 months, you want to get one done every 6 months. If you've never had one done and your computer's a couple years old, the first one we do, it's going to make your computer up to 25% faster. I mean, if you're looking at maybe buying a new computer, this is a great opportunity to bring your computer in for a maintenance check. Let's see if we can get you to put off that new computer. You know, it's not every day you go to a computer shop and they try to talk you out of buying one of their computers, you know.
Right.
We're like, no, this one is perfectly fine. Let's fix it. Let's maintenance it. Let's get it up and running again. You know, you don't go out and buy a new refrigerator when your coils are clogged. You clean the coils. It's the same thing with your computer.
You know, when you say that, and I'm thinking about kids going off to college or something, if you want to send the computer you have at home now off with them, do maintenance, and then get a new computer for the family that's still at home. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's a nice way to extend the life.
And then you get to use the new computer at home.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking, just for selfish reasons, Mom and Dad would appreciate that. No, son, you take this one. Really, it's our pleasure.
Because they're just going to trash it at school anyway, right? Get it all
Gaming.
infected.
Yeah.
So you're talking about increasing the speed by at least 25% or up to 25%
Yeah.
by getting these maintenance. What if you don't see any symptoms in your computer? If it's not, it doesn't feel like it's operating slow. It feels like it's running regular speed.
Gotcha. One of the things that if you're sick for a long time as a person, when you get better, after a while you don't even realize you're sick. When you get better, wow, I can't believe how bad I felt. Same thing with your computer. Your computer doesn't just one day wake up and is slower than it was the day before. It's very incremental, very, very much over time. You don't realize, if you can make a cup of coffee before your computer boots, it's sick.
Yeah.
You know, it's not supposed to be that slow. The maintenance checkup will alleviate that, make it healthy again, and you won't believe how much better the performance is once you have that done.
Well, regularly the cost is $79.99, but you're
Yeah.
doing something really special for our viewers.
Well,
This week only, right?
We do this once a year, so if you miss this deal, it's not going to come around again until 2012, but we discount the maintenance checkup down to $30. I challenge you to find anybody, anywhere, who will work on anything for 8 hours for $30.
Right. You're
let
not
alone
making,
a computer.
Look, if anybody
Yeah.
understands business, you're not making any money on
And if
that
you
one.
can get your computer up to speed working like it should for $30.
$30.
I mean, it's a bargain.
So what do you do? Just bring the PC in?
Yes,
How
absolutely.
does that start?
Bring it into our service center. We're on 168th and Burke, right next door to Fat Brain Toys. You can bring it on in. If it's a tower, if it's the big thing, we don't need any cords or keyboards or anything. If it's a laptop, please bring your power cord. We like to use the original power cords because sometimes those power cords will actually cause a problem.
Is there a limit to how many computers you can bring in at that special rate?
As many as you have in your home, bring them in.
$30 a computer.
Listen,
You bring them
sir,
in from your office,
listen
whatever you want
here.
to do.
I love that you speak plain English. Just thank you. I'm not as smart as Mike is with the tech stuff, but I love hearing the analogies because it makes it easier to understand. So thank you for doing that.
Not a problem.
Thor
Thanks.
Schrock, it's nice to see
Thanks,
you.
Thor.
Website, SchrockInnovations.com, and you're going to find him at Village Point South near 168th, south of Dodge on Burke, technically 169.
Right there by Fat Brain Toys.
If you want to get technical.
No snow.
That's right. Thanks for
Thank
coming in,
you.
Thor.
Nice to
Guests
see
of the
you.
Morning Blend start their day with coffee from Pears Gourmet, the official coffee of the Morning Blend. To learn more about Pears, go to OmahaMorningBlend.com and click on that Pears logo right there on the home screen. So from computers to our hearts and something called atrial fibrillation.
We are joined by a cardiologist, Dr. Kelly Airy, with information you'll want to know. That's next.